Hi, it's Dan speaking. So in today's video I wanted to talk to you just about protecting your thoughts from the influences of outside forces. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a main outside force that has control over your thoughts right now, and that is the media. I'll give you an example. I saw a headline, and on that headline, it was the Daily Mail, or the Daily Fail as I call it, and on that headline it had it was printed on the same day, but one was for England and one was for Scotland. And on the first one, which was England, and I might get these mixed up, but the first one said pensions to fail. That was pretty much the headline. On the second one it said pensions to be amazing, or whatever the headline was. But it's the same newspaper in different countries, and they had completely opposite headlines. Isn't that amazing when you think about that? Well, let's just think about where that headline comes from. What's the motive behind that headline? What's the motive that an editor will have to put that specific headline on there? And not just that. It's not just about that one headline. Think about where any headline comes from. It comes from one person's decision-making ability. It could be the owner of the newspaper, or it could be the editor. And there could even be a team of people sat around a table wondering what the headline's going to be. So, you know, how many headlines were discounted? Maybe 10 or 12 different headlines, all of different things. But one person made the decision to put that headline on that newspaper. And it's the same on the news, on TV. One person ultimately decides what's going in that news. It could be a team of people, but ultimately it's just one person. And if that person has a particular skew on the way that things are, then that's not going to work, is it? It's going to give you a skewed perception of what's really going on in the world. And in fact, whenever you hear a story from someone, yeah, a friend of mine, he bought a property, but it didn't work because the tenants just put pizza boxes on the wall. So yeah, don't do that. Like, think about that. And I use this example because it's an example I've actually heard. So what if a tenant puts pizza boxes on the wall? Pull them down, you take the staples out, you get a plaster in, £100, bish bosh bish, paint the damn thing, get it straight back out. You're covered anyway because of your bond, so it's no big deal. But that's saying it stops someone from actually buying and investing in property. Not just one property, but 20, 30, 40 properties. Which means that they're then kept in work for the rest of their life. And that's one person's opinion that could have persuaded me not to invest in property. That's crazy. That's seriously crazy. So what I'm wondering is, for you, how many people are having an influence on your life? First of all, that you're consciously aware of. How many people? And then secondly, how many people are having an effect on your life unconsciously? Little throwaway sayings, you pick up a newspaper and you read doom and gloom because it's never nice stuff, is it? You watch the news, you watch a TV programme and you think, oh, that must be how it's done. You watch, I don't know, Property Ladder, and they don't take all the costs of the refurb into account. Have you noticed that? That's what they do. All this lovely furniture's turned up and that's not taken into account into a budget. It's really funny. But you've got to do your own numbers, you've got to work on your own perceptions, and you've got to protect what's up here. It's up to you to protect it, because other people will change it for you. Me included. I'm here to change the way that you see things. I'm here to change the way that you see the world and how it works. Because I'm here to blackmail you. Because you've already been blackmailed through the media that the world works in a particular way, and it doesn't work that way. It will if you let it, and if you let other people be in charge of what's going to happen to you, PLC. I don't do that. I make up my own decisions, and I make up my own decisions based on all the information that I've gathered, not on what's popular in the newspapers. So if you're clambering to get on the housing market, jumping on the bandwagon, I've got news for you. That bandwagon's been and it's left, and you're on the remnants, so you've got to get in early. And when everyone's running one way, you go the other way, because that's where the success is. You know, we were talking about doing deals where it's got Japanese knotweed. Japanese knotweed is a nightmare to get rid of. It's like 3 years of hard work to get rid of. And it's a property deal that's below market value. And so part of me is saying, no, don't do it because it's a nightmare to deal with. But actually, part of me is saying, build that into your figures when you're doing a negotiation. You can use Japanese knotweed as a great negotiation tool and get tens of thousands of pounds knocked off the price of your property. As long as you know that you're going to have that to do and that issue to resolve, you can use that as a great negotiating tool. Because most other people simply won't do it. because they know, oh no, I've heard not to touch Japanese knotweed. So you'll end up with a much better price and you can actually resolve it. I'm not saying that that's an easy thing to resolve, because I know it's not. But we're in the business of solving problems. And if you can solve someone's problem, then you're going to make a lot of money. That's the key. What's the biggest problem that you're solving for that customer? Well, actually, if it's a below market value deal, the biggest problem that you're solving for that customer is you're helping them move on. It could be from a divorce, or a death in a family, or it could be an immigration, who knows? But you're helping that person move on and you're solving their particular problem. And if it's got Japanese knotweed and no one else is stepping up to solve their problem, you're going to get a better price to help them solve their problem. So you've got to protect your outside influences, where other people go, oh, Japanese knotweed, don't touch it. That's their perception. That's why they're not wealthy. That's maybe why they've only got a couple of properties or still work for a living. Don't touch their perception. Go speak to someone who has made a couple of £1 million and got a couple of £1 million worth of property and has actually dealt with Japanese knotweed and knows how to get rid of it. Those people exist. Go find them and speak to them. Get their perceptions, not the guy down the pub or the girl down the pub. Let's not be sexist. So you've got to protect your mind from these outside influences. And you've got to research it. Like, get online and look at Japanese knotweed. Look how much it costs on average and see how long it takes on average in order to do it. And let's say it costs £5 to get rid of it and you can negotiate 15 grand off a deal. Well, that's a job well done, I would suggest. You've solved the problem that many other people wouldn't actually want to touch because they've heard that Japanese knotweed's not a good thing to have in your property, which it isn't. So, mindset. Everything starts in the mind, everything finishes in the mind, and it is your job, it's one of your tasks to protect what's going on in your mind and to protect it as much as possible. It's the most important asset that you've got, protect it. Okay, my name's Dan Latto. I hope that's useful for you. Quite a long video today, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.